pretty much done already.
Valley View winemaker Mike Brunson sanitizes the corker on their bottling line, getting this machine prepped for their next batch of bottling. When it comes to winemaking, Mike says he's had the chance to do it all, from the work in the vines to getting the wine in the bottle.
Started when my first harvest when I was 19.
And you haven't missed one since?
Nope. I started in '89 at a place called Sky Vineyards, which is on the Napa-Sonoma County line. It was all volunteer, and I got to work, for the weekend, 3 square meals a day and a case of wine at the end of it, maybe a little bit of cash, and found myself doing it quite often, because when you're 19 and you have a case of wine, that's like cash.
He says being in this world of wine just fit.
I was blessed and cursed with a good sniffer, and worked with some folks who were pretty encouraging about it and gave me opportunities to taste wines at a young age.
It took a few years, but Mike says when he started to sample and share some of the wine he made, the light bulb really clicked.
And it was actually my grandmother, who never gave away any compliments, who said, "Who made this wine at Thanksgiving?" Or "Where'd this wine come from?" And I said, "Oh, I made it." And she goes, "You made it?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Keep doing that." And I was like, "Whoa, what?" And everybody kind of looked at me like, "Why is Grandma talking to you like that?"
He worked in Santa Cruz, California for a bit, then back to Sonoma for several years before taking the winemaking job at Valley View 2 years ago.
Part of the draw of this industry is that it's agriculture, and people tend to forget that there's a lot of farming that goes into this. And, for me, the beauty of that is that every year is different. And even if I'm in the same place for 10, 12, 13 years, each year is different. And each year there's a challenge that pops up.
He says Southern Oregon weather tends to bring its own challenges, but Mike says they simply take it one season at a time.
Take what we're given and try and make it into the best product we can. I would say that I try and do it with as little of my intervention as I can, but there's a lot of intervention. It's babysitting, and you can't just leave the kids alone. They're going to ruin the house.
A lot of care in the vineyard thanks to a longtime vineyard crew, and they're tending to some incredibly old vines. So while Mike is getting the best from the past, he's looking to the future for Valley View.
We have vines from '72. We just celebrated the 50th anniversary. Old vines, old dying vines make great wines, and so from that standpoint I'm sort of lucky. But we're actually doing some replanting as well in a couple different blocks, which is neat, because I've had conversations with Mark about what we want to plant and what we're thinking long term, because it is a sort of second stage of this business, and we really want to sort of honor what his pop started years and years ago, and also sort of honored what they've done for the first 50 years and see how we can flex that with the changing times, changing climate, all those sort of things.